So Ahsoka is finished, and was it worth it? Mostly. I found the show to be surprisingly compelling throughout, which I didn't think it was going to be. I knew that it was going to be very much connected to Rebels, and I'm not that much of a fan of Rebels, so I didn't know how much I was going to like it. But starting the show, I was surprised to find that a lot of the characters from Rebels that I didn't like so much, I ended up liking a lot more in live action, specifically Hera and Sabine. Sabine in Rebels I found to be very just annoying and quippy, and just not really like a well-rounded character at all. But in Ahsoka, I found her to be a much more well-rounded character, and I found it very interesting that she isn't really sure of if she really wants to pursue this path of becoming a Jedi, and isn't sure of how to live up to the mantle of being as good of a Jedi as Ahsoka. And Ahsoka also isn't sure of how to train Sabine, because she never actually completed her training from Anakin, which leads to possibly my favorite episode of not just this show, but I think of like all the other Disney Plus Star Wars shows, which is episode 5 of Ahsoka. And in this episode we see Clone Wars in live action, and it was fan service, but it didn't bother me, because throughout this entire episode I was smiling ear to ear, because I finally got what I wanted: Clone Wars in live action, and now I want an entire show in this. The way that Anakin finished Ahsoka's training was by using flashbacks of certain battles and certain lessons that Anakin gave to Ahsoka, and Ahsoka would later implement this training to Sabine. I thought this was a really cool idea to not only explore the characterization of Ahsoka, but show how she has evolved as a character. I thought the most interesting character from Ahsoka was easily Baylan Skoll, because he's not just a light side Force user or a dark side Force user. He's more middle of the road, which is something that we haven't seen much of in Star Wars. And I found him to be an incredibly compelling character, because he's just doing what he thinks is best for himself and his apprentice Shin Hati, which unfortunately leads to him allying himself with Thrawn, which he thinks is the best move for him and his apprentice, but unfortunately doesn't work out the best for him. And I thought that it was really cool to see Thrawn in live action. And of all the characters from Rebels to make the transition to live action, I thought that he easily made the easiest transition of all of them. Now for the ending. Yeah, the show kind of led me astray a little in the finale, because I wanted to see more focus on Baylan and Shin Hati, because I thought that they were the most compelling characters of the show. But the show decided to focus more on Ahsoka and Sabine in their search to find Ezra. And once they found Ezra, the finale, they were trying to stop Thrawn. But I just didn't really find that to be as compelling as it would have been if it was focused more on Baylan. We do see Baylan at the end, and I thought it was a very cool scene where we see him on the hand of the father from the Mortis arc from Clone Wars, which was very interesting, because the entire season he's talking about how he has a purpose for something very important, very big, and I kind of thought that he was talking about Palpatine, if they were trying to tie it into the sequel trilogy, which I was hoping they weren't. But it ended up being the father and the son, and we do see that the daughter is there, but her head isn't there. I wasn't sure why. I'll probably have to look up fan theories about that. But overall, I found the show to be pretty good. Just the finale kind of led me astray a little bit. I'll give Ahsoka an 8 out of 10. It would be a 9 out of 10 if it wasn't for